Somebody please tell me what the hell Erik Ten Hag told these guys at halftime. Because that's the definition of a tale of two halves, bro. That game is a tale of two halves. That second half was actually really, really good. Especially from the jump. Let's talk about the first half a little. He went with that midfield again of Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. And I think with Mainoo's injury, you're going to be seeing that a whole lot more. He went with the front three of Hojlund, Rashford, and Garnacho. Lisandro was playing left back today. Johnny Evans and De Ligt. Dalot at right back. Onana and goal, obviously. And I'll be real, the first half it just felt pedestrian from United, to be honest with you. I didn't think Brentford were like spectacular, but I did feel like they were playing out from our press extremely well, extremely easily. They were creating decent chances, especially like in swinging crosses and stuff like that. And United were giving the ball to Garnacho a lot. Garnacho to feet and just kind of praying for something for Garnacho to do. And I thought Garnacho in the first half was very frustrating. And here's the thing with Garnacho, right? I've been very consistent with Garnacho on this. I don't think Garnacho is a footballing super talent. I don't think in terms of pure ability, like as a pure natural talent, he's not on the level of the Yamals or Goulet. He's not per se a Musiala. He's not on their level in terms of natural ability. I don't even think per se, I don't think he's a bigger talent than Kobbie Mainoo is. He's a good talent, but for me, he's nothing special. However, what I always say about Alejandro Garnacho, his best attributes for me are mental. The guy has a short memory, and what do I mean by that? I think he's a player that even when he loses the ball 5 times, he'll pick up the ball and go at you a 6th time. And I think that's a trait that's very, very important to have when you're playing for a club like Man United. There are some players that the minute things go bad, they put their head down. They give up. Garnacho is not that kind of player. He's very, very direct. He's very, very relentless. And he's actually a pretty good finisher, I think. I think Garnacho is a good finisher. But there's an issue I have with Garnacho's game. There is an issue I have with Garnacho's game. And I think you saw it in the first half today on full display. In the second half, I think he was a lot better. But also, I think it's because he was used more as an outlet. Garnacho, watch him when he dribbles in particular. Either Garnacho will try and like go outside and then in, or he'll try and take his fullback down the line. And even when he doesn't beat his fullback every single time. In fact, I think he probably loses it more than he wins it. But even when he beats his fullback, if you notice, Garnacho doesn't really create a lot of space with his fullback. Like, he doesn't create separation when he beats his fullback. For example, Saka and Salah, when they beat their fullback, they might not skin them, but they manage to get just enough amount of space to either send someone through or get a shot off. Garnacho doesn't do that. When Garnacho beats his fullback, he lets them back in way too easily, either putting him off balance when he shoots or just blocking his shots straight up. And that's why I think you see Garnacho taking a lot of shots, and more often than not, they're weakly hit, they're him falling over, or the defender just eats it up. I think that's to do with a lack of physicality. I think he needs to really bulk up and get a bit of explosiveness to his game. People will say, oh, he's just not a good dribbler. Maybe that's the case, but still, you don't have to be a great dribbler, but you still have to have a little bit of burst that when you beat your fullback, you stay beat. I feel like he'll beat his fullback, and like it doesn't beat him every time, but when he beats his fullback, on the rare occasions that he doesn't create the necessary separation so that he can get a clean strike on goal. That's my biggest issue with Garnacho right now. And I think it's going to come with, as he gets older, as he gets stronger. I think it's core strength. I think it's a bit of explosiveness in his game. I think he's missing it right now. But I think the first half, right? I read a stat on Twitter today that Garnacho has taken 15 more shots than Marcus Rashford today. He's high volume. But it's all about getting high value shots. You can have 15 shots a game, but if they're all being blocked by defenders or they're all going straight at goalkeepers' hands, they're not great shots. Make sure that the shots you're taking are high value shots. And the second half, that pass that Rashford plays in behind to him, or like that cross that Garnacho takes first hand, bottom corner, that's a high value opportunity, and it's brilliantly taken. I think that's where you can see the best of Garnacho. For me, I've always said it, Garnacho, I think, is a great outlet. He's very intelligent with his runs. He's, again, direct. He never stops running in behind. He's very, very quick, by the way, as well, too. And I think he's a good finisher. But we needed that second half because the way United finished off the first half with the Pinnock header, and it was very, very controversial, right? Because a lot of people were saying, why was De Ligt not let onto the pitch? Now, the rule in the Premier League is that if there is blood, and especially if it comes down your face or it gets on your kit, you got to get that guy off the pitch. You got to get him bandaged up. And Matthijs de Ligt, for me, I blame United's medical team more than I blame the referee. Because he got off the pitch like 3 times today, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was like taken off and brought back on like 3 separate occasions. At some point, wrap his head up, bro. At some point, bandage him up. The guy looked like, he looked like he came back from war. Blood was literally pouring down his face. I feel like United's medical team had to do a lot better in that situation, right? And United were complaining, why was De Ligt not on the corner? Who's to say he even stops him? Maybe he would have defended him better than Dalot, by the way, which Dalot, the ease in which he lets Pinnock kind of just elude him. People were saying, why was he even on him to begin with? Pinnock's much bigger than him. But at least stay with him. At least kind of put some pressure on him. At least make it difficult. That's an open header. And I think Dalot completely lets him go. And I have to be honest with you guys, right? I like Dalot. And I think the last 12 to 18 months, he's been one of United's more consistent performers. But Dalot is not exempt from criticism. And I do think the last 4 or 5 games, Dalot has shown weaknesses in his defensive game. And I think it's more so his defensive lapses. Against Southampton, I think Dibbling had him in the first half. He gave Dalot problems in the first half. I think against Spurs, he was very, very suspect for the opener from Brennan Johnson. Why did he completely stop following him? I think against Porto in midweek a few weeks ago, before international break, did not cover himself in glory. And I think as well again today. It's just defensive lapses and concentration, man. I think Dalot's a good player. I think he's improved a lot. I think he's very important to United in possession. But just because Dalot has been the most consistent of a bad bunch from United doesn't mean he's exempt from criticism. And I do think defensively, he's a good 1v1 defender. But his focus levels, I'm starting to worry because he has a blunder in him every single game now at this rate. Get better, please. But again, like I said, what the hell did Ten Hag tell these guys at halftime? Because that second half performance, from the word go, United were more enthusiastic. They were more aggressive. They were pressing from the front better. They were combining better. They were getting in behind better. And they take their goal within 3 minutes. The perfect way to start that second half. I don't know what the hell Ten Hag did. I couldn't point out to you guys, in my opinion, a tactical tweak that he did. I wouldn't know. He'd have to explain it to me. But I just feel like they came out with a newfound energy. They came out with some bite to their game. And granted, I didn't think Brentford were good at all in the second half. And I'm a big Thomas Frank guy. I've been on the record thinking maybe he could do a job at United. But on the evidence of today, maybe we got to give him some more time because I actually thought Brentford in the second half were very, very poor. But United, I think from the word go in that second half, they played a very, very good second half. For me, that's one of the best performances over 45 minutes United have had this season. Few performances I want to talk about. I think Marcus Rashford, to me, was my man of the match. And I think there were a few candidates, but I thought Rashford today was perfect. I think there's nobody that can criticize Rashford's work rate today. There's nobody that can criticize his body language. He was tracking back. He was aggressive. He was winning the ball back. He was supporting his fullback. He was making runs in behind. He put in a peach of a cross into Garnacho for the first. I thought Rashford today was very, very good, making good passes. And he was playing on the right as well, too. That's not always been Rashford's best position. I've always said Rashford, I think, on the right is underrated because I think it helps simplify his games at time. And Rashford is a very, very good ball striker. So when he's playing on the right and he's able to kind of hit those balls of pace and power into the box off that right-hand side, I think that's a massive weapon in his arsenal that he doesn't always get to use when he's playing on the left. But I thought Rashford today, very, very good performance. And I have to be honest with you guys, right? I think the last 5 games, Rashford has probably been United's best performer. And it's surprising to me that Ten Hag has taken him off in numerous games. I think he's played him on the right in numerous games. I think he's been United's best performer for the last 4 or 5 games. I thought Rasmus Hojlund today, that's a top-level number 9 performance. That's an excellent number 9 performance today. And I noticed his post-game interview today. He's saying today I wasn't trying to wrestle with the ball. I was trying to play with the ball at my feet. Are you on social media, my guy? Are you watching YouTubers, my guy? Because I think that's what every United fan has kind of been complaining about. And they've used that exact language. Stop wrestling with center backs that are twice your size, twice your body weight. Today, I thought Rasmus Hojlund had a masterclass. Genuinely, I don't even think I'm using that word too strongly here. I thought it was a masterclass in hold-up play. Kept the ball well, did his flicks, laid it off to his guys when he needed, and then, like every good center forward needs, finished it off perfectly. I think that little dink over the top from a beautiful flick from Bruno Fernandes, we'll talk about in a bit, but that flick from Bruno was exceptional. And I think that the finish from Rasmus Hojlund, that's the finish of an established center forward. And I've had my criticisms of Rasmus Hojlund over the last 12 months. I do think he's extremely raw, and he's extremely frustrating at times. And I think last year, it was too much trying to play like WWE with the center back. Today, I think that's an exceptional center forward performance. And on the basis of what we saw from Joshua Zirkzee off the bench today, I don't think Rasmus Hojlund is in any danger of losing his spot. Zirkzee, to me, that was a really bad cameo from him. Oh my God, man. And I worry about Zirkzee because I think he's a talented player. And I think clearly his strength comes in linking up play, dropping deep, combining with guys. But is Zirkzee one of those guys that's maybe better starting a game from the beginning rather than coming off the bench and being asked to make an impact? Is he a guy who needs rhythm and he needs his early touches and he needs the confidence to start from the beginning rather than being a guy that comes off the bench and is asked to impact games. Because off the basis of today, boy, that cameo was a hard watch. It was a hard watch. But one thing's for sure, I think Hojlund has now reestablished himself as Man United's starting center forward. But the hope is that both these guys can compete with each other. Both these guys can challenge each other. They can push each other on, and they can ultimately improve each other. Because I always think competition is what ultimately breeds success. Having a guy that's pushing you every single day, and you know the minute you slip up, that guy's ready to take your position. That's what builds competition, and it's what builds success. It breeds success, in my opinion. So hopefully, the two of them can continue pushing each other. And who knows, maybe Hojlund's performance today comes off the back of he's looked at Zirkzee the last few games and said, okay, I got an actual center forward I got to compete with this year. Let's go. I thought De Ligt, very, very good performance today. Performance of a warrior. I thought Lisandro Martinez was quite good off the left today. I thought he did decently against Mbeumo, who has been such a problem for several defenders this year in the Premier League. Brentford have been the kings of early goals. I thought Casemiro was good today, chat. I have to be honest with you guys. I thought Casemiro had a good performance. I think on the ball, he was quite good. I think in the second half in particular, he was destructive. He was breaking up play like nobody's business. And it leads to what I said the minute we signed Ugarte. And I don't mean to make this a negative thing, because Ugarte plays the last 5 minutes of the game, but I'm going to have to bring this up here, guys, because it's the elephant in the room for me. I said it at the time in the video, and you guys can even go back, and I remember comments saying, is this guy crazy? Is anybody sure that Ugarte is better than Casemiro? I'm not 100% positive. I'm not 1,000% positive. I wasn't 1,000% positive when we signed him, and this is coming from a guy who doesn't even rate Casemiro that highly anymore. But still, I'm not convinced Ugarte is an upgrade on Casemiro. And the fact that a guy we invested 60 million in after 2 months is still getting like scraps, like here damn moments, like here damn minutes. I remain to be convinced on Ugarte, to be honest with you. But Eriksen, Casemiro, I think they played very good games today, man. I think Casemiro in particular, he showed that he's still got something in the tank. Like long term, clearly United needs a noticeable upgrade there. But for now, Casemiro can still kind of give you these games. Now Bruno, I think that flick that Bruno had for the Hojlund goal, that's the best thing he's done all season. It's been a really, really tough start to the year for Bruno, and I don't think today was much of an improvement. I think the pass, the assist, the flick is vintage Bruno, and we need more of that because those are the match-winning moments that Bruno Fernandes offers you. And that's why for me, as frustrating as he can be on the ball, when he's giving you those moments, that's what makes it worth having Bruno, because you need match winners at the end of the day. But this year, he hasn't been a match winner whatsoever. His passing has been overhit. He isn't playing guys in behind like he usually does. He's not really creating that many chances, which makes me ask, is he that indispensable if he's not giving you chances created, if he's not giving you moments of magic? But that pass today is brilliant. However, in my opinion, it massively disguised for me what was another underwhelming game from Bruno Fernandes. And like it or not, this current iteration of Manchester United, as currently constructed, is still reliant on how good Bruno Fernandes plays and how good Marcus Rashford plays. At the end of the day, love them or hate them, and I'm not overly fond of either of them, we still go as far as these two take us. Now, that's damning on the recruitment team because we've spent like 600 mil in the last 2 years. The last 2-3 years. Why are we still relying on these guys? Well, what's done is done. The way this United team is currently constructed, I still believe we go as far as these guys take us. It's not a brilliant position to be in, but they're still our two best attackers in my opinion. Now, where does this leave United? I'm sure rival fans celebrated at full time because it means Erik ten Hag stays another game. And look, under Erik ten Hag in the last 3 years, I've seen Man United win games under him. Fans get excited. It's an improvement in performance, and we go overboard. And then a game or two later, we crash back to reality, which is why for me, call me pessimistic, I'm not getting carried away here. Good result. Very good second half performance. What does this mean for the rest of our season? Is this sustainable? Is this a change in favor? Is this a sign that we're going to change things up? You look at the next few games for United. I think it's Fenerbahce midweek, and then I think it's West Ham away. West Ham are having their own struggles. And then it's Chelsea. So there's some tough games kind of coming up, man. There's some tough games. Me personally, I think I've kind of given up on saying Ten Hag out because I don't think it's going to happen. I genuinely think there was no easier time to sack Erik Ten Hag if it wasn't going to be this past international break. And the fact that they didn't, for me, means I think he's going to stay for most of the season unless things get like unsalvageably bad. And the fact that he won today, I expect to see Ten Hag here for the foreseeable future this season. Next year, we'll see. But I don't see Ineos firing Ten Hag. So with that being said, I'm not going to be that guy that's going to come onto every video and complain. What's done is done. You guys know my feelings on Erik Ten Hag. I don't think he's the right guy for this job. And I don't see United having success with him, short term or long term, while he's at the job. But I'm not going to be that guy that every game complains about Erik ten Hag. At some point, I have to look at the ownership. If things continue to get bad, it's on you guys. It's on you guys to make a change. However, today, good performance from United. I think there were some good performances individually as well too. And we move on to midweek against Fenerbahce, Jose Mourinho, Fred, Amrabat. Man United have 0 wins in Europe this year. They need to win. But I'm sorry, if anyone has 2 eyes and has been watching football for longer than the last 12 months, everybody knows how difficult it is to go to Turkey, especially on a European night. So like I said, I remain reserved. I reserve my judgment on this Manchester United team. Good performance, but let's see how sustainable it actually is. What do I think is the cause for Rashford's increase in work rate and effort? I never remembered him to be a hustler like this, on top of the good performances on the ball too. You know what's funny? Rashford actually, when he first burst onto the scene for Man United, was a real hard worker. And the thing is, Rashford used to be the stick that people beat on Martial with. Because Martial has this like laid back demeanor. He looks like he's not really trying that hard. And people would look at Rashford and say, look at how he runs himself into the ground. Look at how he gets it more than Martial. Rashford was known as a hard worker when he first burst onto the scene. He was busy. He was always running at players. He was always chasing back. But I have to be honest with Rashford. I don't know whether it's due to the injury that he suffered to his back, which means that he kind of takes it easy now on the defensive side of things. Or if Rashford has kind of just developed this bad habit where, like, when things don't kind of go his way, he just kind of lets his shoulders shrug. I don't know. I'm not going to, like, question another guy's mentality. I try not to do that on this channel. But it's nice to see Rashford kind of take initiative in games like this and take the defensive side of the game seriously. Because I look at the best players in the world. They're busy. They're always active. They're always chasing. Look at Saka. Saka helps defend. Mane, he used to help defend. Salah, he presses, man. Like, unless you're Messi or you're Ronaldo, man, and you guys are like a guaranteed 50 goals a season, I don't buy this theory that attackers don't have to chase back. They don't have to help defend. They don't have to press from the front. It's a job that everybody has to do. Unless you're a 50 goal a season player, then okay, you do what you want. But if not, I don't buy it, man. Should the Europa League be a target for Man United this year? I mean, it should be. Are we going to win it? I'm not so sure.